So I would want us to go to specifics because those who are here are people who are expectant of employment and education. And also a few are expectant to do business with Europe. So I want you to go to specifics like which areas or professions are we looking at? For example, nursing, engineering, all those fields. After taking A1 and A2, at what point are we going to start the visa processing for these people? Which kind of employment, who is taking care of the accommodation, a ticket, all that in a few minutes, because I think those are the specifics that I want us to cover.
Perfect. Great stuff. Now, there are different categories here. For instance, we as well working with the University Service. The University Service is the examiner for our programs, the German language. At the same time, the University Service has had a rapport with the German state to bring different types of workers from elsewhere. It's the first time that they are now going to be bringing workers from Africa, because DLI is the regional or the official representative of the University Service UNAs in Africa. Now, what type of workers? I'm going to start with not only the professionals. They are what are called the harvesters, seasonal harvesters. What do we call them in English? Those who never went that far in school, or we can call them general workers, something like that.
Or unskilled workers.
Unskilled. Thank you so much. Thank you for that correction. German language is taking so much of my English. The non-skilled workers. So these are field workers who are able to work in the upper fields, for instance, harvesting and different areas. Now, what happens in this case? These workers, one, they're going to have levels A1 up to only A2 is enough, okay? Because their job is instructional. It's only that the University CEO was supposed to be here, is on holiday. He could have also shed some light, but some of you, the other time he spoke to you, Mr. Yonta H. So they only need up to A2 level. Now, when you are approaching, this is the first level, when you approach towards the end of A2 level graduation, we have assessed you already, mind you, at A1. Are you able to pass the A2 level? You are able to tell through what you got at A1 level. So when you approach A2 and you are doing so well in the continuous assessments, as per se, you are put on one of the travelers to come and work as an unskilled worker. So much that by the time you are writing the final examinations at A2 block, all the documents and the paperwork has been submitted to your local embassy. And what happens? This invitation is done dual invitation, that is the University Service, okay, the one spearheading the non-skilled workers, and the Twikatane and DLI, which trained you as an unskilled worker. Now, this is the beauty part of the unskilled workers. One, when it comes to the tickets, the companies that are absorbing you to come and work in the farms, they arrange everything. Accommodation, they arrange everything for you. The one-way ticket is arranged for you. The health insurance or anything that is involved is arranged. And even when you come here to work, you do not pay any rentals. Mind you, are not coming to stay forever. You are coming either for only 1 year to maximum 3 years, according to Mr. Yonta, maximum 3 years. So that money that you are getting, you are just saving it for your aftermath when you get back to your own country. So that's the beauty with the non-skilled personnel or workers. Second, we come to professionals. For the professionals, I'm going to talk about the health workers and the nurses, medics in general. So to say, this one, take it note. One, you have to go A1 and A2 level. That is for the nurses, Okay, A1 and A2 levels. Nurses, I think, and clinical officers, and they're like, A2 is enough. But unlike the first phase, or the first type of people, travelers, the non-skilled workers, you have to fend everything all by yourself. Okay, you have to fend for your ticket. You have to as well have accommodation pre-arranged, that is well in advance, before you travel to Deutschland. But the work premises, those are sourced by us, the University Service, together with the Diversity Learning Institute. By the time you are finishing your A2 level, we would have sourced you the workplace. And you know to say, when I've done my A2, in such kind of a hospital or a healthy center. That's the thing. Now, again, according to history, some of the health centers, they would say, you are coming from Africa. You are coming to settle down, okay? So for the first 6 months or for the first 1 year, you are going to be accommodated in what they call, how do I put them in English? The hostels, in the hostels for the medics. Before now you say, okay, I want to go after 1 year and live in my own apartment. So you find that these health centers, they organize their own hostels and you live in there. And you live in there free of charge. But when you move out, you cross over to your own personal, you need privacy, of course. That's when you start paying for the rentals. These are the nurses and the health assistants, as they are called. But here comes a medical doctor, okay? You're a medical doctor, you want to go and practice in Deutschland. You have to go higher levels of German language, okay? A1, A2, B1. So you've got to go up to B1 because of sensitivity of your profession. By the way, even those nurses do not just say, I've done A2 and it ends there. No, when you are here with your A2, there's what is called further language training on job. You'll still be going to further yourself in the evening. You work some hours, like normally when you settle from morning to about 14 hours, you are done. From 15 hours or something, you go for your part-time, what is it called, German language, to perfect from A1 to B1 and beyond, because you are only comfortable in Germany with C1 level. So equally with the medical doctors, it's the same, A1, A2, B1. You are able now to say, I've got the B1 and I've done my B1 in my own country. Now, at least I'm able to go and practice and come and build onto your B2 and C1 levels. So this is what happens. Not only the medicals, also in the engineering sector, you need strong language abilities, very strong if anything, okay? You have to build up, you start A1, A2 in your country, B1 you qualify, you cross over. The B2, you are going to be doing it on part-time basis when you come here. But the advantage is that when you do the language with us back home, one, it's much cheaper as to doing here in Germany. The language is expensive, it can be expensive. I was even telling Mr. Joseph this one, language in Deutschland. So kill some other parts of budgetary within your country, so that when you are here, you are just looking at maybe one level or a certain level, you are done. The teaching staff. Now, there are two types of teachers. One, those that are popular in Germany. Of course, I'm not arranging them according to gradation. One, teachers for special purposes, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we call them here, for instance, the hindered children with some disabilities. You've got that one you have done, which I know it's one of the components in most of the people that have studied back home in Africa. So special teachers, really, really, really important. I worked in that department. I didn't even know I was being used here as a teacher for special purposes, whereby, you are given on a particular day, these 4 students are in your hands. Oh my goodness. So you need to have an African heart, that smile on the face, just to put things together and to let them understand the reason why they are in school. So special teachers, they are there. Excuse me. Science teachers, science, sorry. Science teachers, could be English. That's the thing which gives us an advantage. And this is one thing as a living testament which gave me lots of advantages here because of my English abilities. So it made me so much popular, snatching me here. So language teachers could be English, French, Spanish, and so on. So now, what do you come with as a teacher? What kind of level of language do you need? Number 1, okay, special teacher. You need A1, A2, B1. Okay, B1 is a must. Teacher who is coming for languages now, just to teach English, for instance, you're coming to teach English language, excuse me, or you're coming to teach French or any other languages, you need mainly, okay, B1 is important, but mainly up to A2, because even when you are in class here as a foreign language teacher, you are told not to be using so much of course, it's a disadvantage to you not to use so much of the German language, because otherwise they are going to suffer in learning that language. So you flow in the language that you came with. So A2 is very cardinal.
So this is Miss Beverly White, and I just wanted to let you know that Miss Liz, I think it is Boucher, please forgive me if I'm not saying your name correct. She has her hand up for a question.
Awesome. Madam Liz, could you please come on microphone?
Actually, I think you actually answered the question before. I just wanted to find out concerning the A1 and A2. Is that for traveling purposes for the nurses and for the teachers? Not the language teachers, but just general teachers and the nurses. Is that for only the A1? Is it for language purposes, or that's what they have to start with in terms of working, A1 and A2? Because from my understanding is the B1 is the standard for both nurses and the teachers. I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, I think you missed some line. You are right. This is what I said. That is the starting point. That's the starting point. You start with A1, then you pass. You convince us that you are able to go to the next level. You pass A1, you get a certificate. Then again, you're going to learn and pass your A2, you get a certificate before going to B1.
Another category that I would want us to look at, there is this category of social workers. Social workers, especially who would be working in the old age homes. Can you talk about that? And also with that, there are professionals who are not in line with the skill set that we are looking for. For example, those in business fields, economics, finance, but still want to come to Germany. How do we handle them, and what are the possibilities? What are the chances?
Perfect. I'm gonna tell you, reality on the ground, like as usual. When you talk of even us foreigners or Africans, not only Africans, foreigners that are in Deutschland, lived in Deutschland for a long time, Germany is still a growing country in terms of accommodating certain professions. Rarely are you going to jump into a bank and you're seeing an African, for instance. It's got nothing to do with racism, but I don't know, that level is not yet there. If you've got business administration, you want to come and work in a bank here, I know, and I have found a number of people that came from Ghana who were working in banks or in certain government positions. They had done business administration. It couldn't help them right here. Clever ones, they had to change the trade. For instance, computing, the IT industry, the computer industry, you easily switch onto that. But accounting, business administration, economics, not really. It's not that unless you are ready to change, to add up some diploma, 1 year diploma, you do IT, engineering or something like that, it's gonna help you. But purely just like that, it's not that popular. Social work, social work. I don't know how I even forgot it, because that's what really pained me when I worked in the schools here. I did a lot of work unknowingly for social workers. They get quite a lot of money here.
Mr. Lukomona,
yes,
can I just add a bit on that one for
yes,
Mr. Josephat?
Yes.
On the courses like business administration and economics, it's just like in every country, there are just certain courses that can only be done by the natives because they have followed the channel in terms of education, so they understand it better. When I did business management, the business management I learned and what is here, they're two different, but right now I work at a special needs school as an assistant. So what I'm saying, there are certain courses that you will not understand from another country. They could be the same, but they're not really that you can make something out of. Like engineering, we had a case where we're counseling some refugees from Iraq and Afghanistan in 2016 when the refugee influx here in Germany was so high, and a lot of them came with their engineering degrees, and they said, oh yeah, when you get an engineering degree, you get a job in Germany, but it wasn't the case. They attended the interviews, but most of them didn't get the jobs. So in terms of such courses, it's quite like Mr. Lukomona says, it's not really there unless you studied here. You understand the education system, you've been through it, then you can get into that line of work. That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Awesome. Very, very well said. Like she says, between 2013, I think Mrs. Croyter can testify, we did a lot of work with the refugees, almost 1,000 or over 1,000 refugees in Hamburg. That time, between 2013 and 2017, we had engineers who had lost it out from Syria, Afghanistan, mentioned the names, medical doctors. It was hard to now transform them. The cardinal point is you've got to be retrained. Okay, you've got to be retrained, not holistically to say, I did, for instance, engineering in my country, then I have to do again engineering for 4 years. No, you can be retrained if you do not conform to that company for some 6 months, for instance. Like us, before the corona came down, we've been training through what is called the job center, people studying English for special purposes. You find a lot of English and German language, a lot of foreigners. Why are you here? I've got a job at this company at Lufthansa, for instance, but they have sent me to perfect my German language. So, because in my homeland, I did only up to maybe A2. So now they have told me I have to do up to B1. Of course, they are paying me half salary, but the moment I do my B1, then I go to the mainstream of the bracket. So like he says, you have to work for it to be blended. German language, as usual, it trickles back to the same thing up to C1. After C1, then you start doing your masters for 1.5 years as well. So all goes with preparation. That's why, for instance, what we are doing, like teaching German language in Zambia here and there, it was through such problems that we found. You'd see a student is coming to you, where are you coming from? I'm from the job center. The government has sent that person to learn German. A1, A2, B1. How long have you been in Germany here? Oh, I've been here for 5 years. But where have you been? No, because of the language I couldn't fit in the system. And there are so many. I've been working as a cleaner in schools. Mrs. Bosha can tell you she's a teacher there. I work as a cleaner. He's showing you the papers. He's got even a master's degree. But because of the language. Another one is coming, I was a medical doctor. I couldn't settle in. One of our colleagues is not on this platform here, from Afghanistan. He's a doctor, but it took him long because of problems to learn the language. He couldn't easily be deployed. Just last year I was meeting him. He said, oh, now I've got a placement because I managed to do, is it B1, B2, sorry. So it all boils back to the way you prepare your German language. That's why Those that we are teaching out there, for instance, in Zambia, we don't play. We tell them, here's the examiner invest service. Mr. Lukomona is just your manager. But if you fail the exam, shut down all your dreams. Those who passed, these are the ones who are here. They're going to be talking to you today. So it all boils back to the blender. No German is going to have time for you at a place of work. Oh, what about, can I do this? Can I do this? Simply going to tell you, no, but you've got a contract. What is it? No, I can't read the contract. It's not my problem. I'm busy. So we tell them, hit the nail on the head while you are in your country. Learn the language. When you come here, I'm telling you, it becomes easy. Those that we have drilled with language and they have come here, they're just selling with no much problem.
Now, another question that is coming up, as we are interacting and recruiting people who would love to take part in this, is it a guarantee that after doing the A1 and A2, we are going to travel to Germany for the various qualifications that we have? Number two, what I want you to paint a picture what it will look like, the program, the German training program. At the end of it, will somebody be able to at least communicate? Is it difficult? What if I fail? Those are some of the questions that we are getting. I want you to take just maybe 3 minutes to handle that before we can open the floor for more questions and answers.
Pretty good. What if I fail? One, I always tell people like this. I was giving such a speech, I think with Zambia, that you've told me, okay, you couldn't be accepted by your grade standards to enter a local university in Zambia. Now, why should a German university accept you when you have failed to meet the grading system? So it answers your question, sir. It all boils back to how have you prepared yourself? Of course, German language passing, for instance, A1, which is A1, okay? It says you've got to have 45, 50 and above, but it's not good. A2, it's not good still. So you've got to be a top student. Germany, I want to tell the truth, Germany is a country of what is it called? I don't know the best word I can use in English. Maybe Madam Boscha can, which word can you use, Madam Boscha, to describe German working culture?
Okay, where am I? The working culture in German, like, just wait. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please.
Okay. I would say, the Germans are known they strive for the perfectionist and their precisions in terms of all aspects of life. So, I would put it in those two contents. Any other, I always tell people when I'm counseling people to say, to understand a place, you have to live with the natives and work with them, understand their culture. Because people get excited to say, I want to travel, I want to get a ticket and then get a job there. But yes, you'll get a job there, but don't forget that you'll be living and working with those people. Are you prepared? And there's this thing of, they are very unfriendly. You have to understand the people, the culture, see how they do things, how they handle. That's their country. We're not saying you should come down and be, start praising them or begging them, but what you're trying to say, learn from the owners of the country. Like they say, if you go to Italy, you have to do if you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. So it's the same principle, because the Germans are known from the outside world as they are racist, they are very harsh, they are what? They don't have time for small talks. That's them. They like to do their work on time and it ends there, but they're also funny. They are the kind people. Yeah. And they have this community put together, and that the community aspect and the social aspect, they have it. It's only that for you to understand the country, I advise everybody, learn from them. My father-in-law used to tell me, Liz, you have to steal with your eyes. And this is a man who lived in the Second World War and they helped me. So I learned to understand the country. And I live in a small town in the eastern part where when I tell the people in my country that, oh, I live in East Germany, they say, oh, they are racist. Well, do you manage? Said, you know, racism is everywhere. Even in my country, Zambia, it's there. But it's how you live with the people.
Awesome. Well answered. Just to add on to what Madam Lizzie has said, myself, for instance, when I landed in Germany, everybody that I met, especially from the, let me just say from the African community, because I said, hey, I want to find the African community. Why have you come here? These are racists, they don't give us jobs and everything. But when I learned the system a couple of months, I said, come on, these guys, they haven't done anything. They haven't learned the language. They want to get a job and be shown everything. And I was advised, learn the language quickly. I learned the language. I rose the ranks, got connected because of the language. And when I started working with the Germans, as long as you are punctual, that's number one. Punctual, do the work according to the prescription. You're going to be friendly. I know where we are coming from. In Zambia, I would leave my work because my cousin has come and stuff. Not at all. It took me, I don't know how many years to even know where my sister worked here in Germany, young sister, because there was no time to go and disturb her. So, one, guarantee that you can work. Please, I want to say this. You've got to have very good skills of German language. Two, what you hold currently, okay? What you hold currently, you want to come and work as a as an engineer. Are your papers correct? Okay? Did you graduate with, I don't know the gradation, for instance, in Kenya, what kind of points did you graduate with? All that matters. Are you coming to learn on the job? All that matters. That's why we said before, we have to screen, what is it called? Your documents and see the papers. I did nursing for 1 year. Goodness, with nurses, there's not much problem, okay? Because nurses are needed like nobody's business here. Other programs, proof of your statement of results. This is my bachelor, this is my master's. Okay, you did well. We submit to your potential employer. That's the way they assess it, they check it. So it's not just screaming to say, okay, I'm on the German language, everything. No, it's what you have put on your paper, qualifications. German is a country of standards. I want you to. It is just like that. So Mr. Moses, you're going to send us a list of the applicants who has got what, and stuff. We assess the documents and we give you a feedback.
I'm a lawyer by profession. I was nearly 40 years with the United Nations, 27 years with as an international official with UNDP, and about 13 years as advisor in rule of law, constitutional law in Sudan, and later in Somalia. And presently I am advising the Berghof Stiftung in Germany, in Berlin, on matters on the political environment in Somalia, in which they have a program which is funded by the German Foreign Office to work on reconciliation and trying to link reconciliation with climate change. I think this is a new thing. We are all very much excited, and I'm personally very much excited of having met Mrs. Sheikh and being able to hopefully prepare a program together with her on behalf of the Rotary Club or of ourselves, sharing experience and helping people. Let me just say one word about Germany. What the gentleman said is very true. If you don't know the language, you're lost. Nobody will try to help you. Nobody will, there the Germans are a bit stubborn, I would say. It's very, very difficult if you don't speak the language. And please try to learn the language before you go. You have nearly in all big cities, you have the Goethe Institute, which has very good courses. I was myself teaching German, but this was 50 years ago, in Tehran, in Iran, and in Cairo, Egypt. So they have very good methodologies to help you to learn the language without much problems. But it's very, very difficult. And I think if you don't know the language, at least at the basics, and you come in Germany, I think you will be very disappointed. I'm sorry to say this. I'm just underlining what the gentleman from DLI said. Learn the language. There's nobody who will help you once you are there. I wish you all the luck, the good luck. I hope you like my country, obviously, but please learn the language before you go and not afterwards.
And one of the things that we find that is so devastating to students that have completed a program from a university is that once they've paid a lot of money, they've come out of school, now they don't have any jobs, and all throughout that whole program, financial literacy was never taught. So the financial literacy program here that I'm a part of, which is through World System Builders, we teach financial literacy to help us to make the best decisions. Because where do we know anywhere where you don't use money? Money is a big part of what we do, and we have to learn how to manage our money. That is one of the places where we have not been able to be a person at the table, is because we don't understand the different programs of financial literacy. And I just wanted to say the program that we have, we offer, I sent Jehoshaphat a book called Saving Your Future. And in this book is financial concepts. Through him, I can send you one. I will need your phone number and email. This book comes in the languages of Spanish, English, Chinese, Vietnamese, and French at this moment. But through this concepts, you will learn how money works, which is one of the areas that everyone here in the United States and all across the globe, we have to learn how money works, because this is what's holding us at an economic standpoint of where we can't move in certain circles.
Money, and introduce yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Fred Chola. I come from Zambia, and I've been studying aircraft engineering in Russia for about approximately 6 to 7 years. I recently came to Germany under DLI, 1 month old here in Germany. And thanks to DLI, of course, the process was very successful and very fruitful and easy. Of course, you have to undergo the German language, which is very important, as Mr. Komona here has talked about, because without the language itself, you cannot progress or you cannot proceed here in Germany. The people here are very, good and also a little bit harsh, according to you not learning the language. Right now, I live with a German family, of course, for easy German learning. I've been studying my German language from Zambia. I started studying it by myself first. And when I stomped on to DLI, they helped me progress, and I had to do my A1 and A2, actually my A2 language with University Service, which is currently sponsoring students who are unable to pay for themselves, as well as I'm also called a German language coordinator for University Service. I'm currently under also another program with University Service. Right now, I'm doing another program called Au Pair. Of course, I had this family who wanted to get acquainted with me. We could share the German culture, the African culture, which is of course from Zambia, the Zambian culture, and I could learn the German culture from them. So I'm currently living in the home right now. And of course, the language they speak is German. And I do speak English, so it's easy for me to learn German and as well as give my knowledge of English to them. So once more, thank you for having me on this platform. I've been waiting for a while.
In which city are you, sir?
We're actually good. I'm actually based in Cologne, Germany, and in a small city called Hochstenbach.
But we mean business. We mean business. We are in this for a reason, for a purpose, for a season. And we are going to partner with other partners to ensure that people in the African continent achieve and reap and harvest the goodness of the world.
Yeah.
There is a problem of joblessness here in Africa. Who is responsible for creating those jobs? Well, it is us. But meanwhile, in the process, we are going to source for our people where they can, get the green pastures as we are struggling, to make everything right in Africa for the betterment of posterity, for our children, for our grandchildren. And ultimately, at the end of it, we are longing for a time when the world will be flying to Africa to seek for refuge. And this is our prayer, and this is our promise that we promise to our unborn children. We do not wish to get our people out of the continent because of the bad leadership, because of corruption, because of everything dirty that is happening. We are going to soil our hands. We are going to use our intellect. We are going to use our resources to ensure that everything stands right in our continent. We are going to do this program. We are going to expand the programs to Canada. We are going to expand the programs to Netherlands, to Holland, to France, with, I would call him Dr. Evans Lukomona. And also with our partners in the US, we are going to do mega business programs and also exchange programs across the world. We are here in this world to possess and take it up. And all the powers of darkness from our African leaders that are making us now to seek refuge out of our motherland, we shall defeat them. We shall defeat them. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week, we are closing the registration. Anybody who has not done their registration, please do it as early as possible before we close, because we're only looking at for 30 people only, and we're going to close it. On 8th, we are going to start the classes. We are going to start the classes, and 8 weeks after 8th of March, we shall be done. The first month of through to July and August, this first lot, I believe all of you will be in Germany and giving testimony of the goodness of the Lord.